Hello, happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. I'm Gary, and this is Chris, and it's Sunday. Well, what else can I say? I've been to the caravan all day, Chris.
You haven't, yeah. You must be
I have.
knackered after your day.
It has been tough. I'll tell you. This is because we rent it out, so this has been the hard bit. The hard bit. It's nearly done though. One more visit, it's done, and nothing for the season apart from receive some money.
Yeah,
That's about
nice.
it. That's about it. It's looking good though. It's looking good. We winterized it well. We're good at that stuff now. We're professionals. Professionals. Good evening, everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching. Thank you for joining us. We've got a rather, I feel, topical subject tonight. There's been a lot of. It surprised me actually. There's been a lot of anger about Graham Potter. There seems to be no patience around him at all, and I don't know why that is. Why do you think it is, Chris?
I just think people have been a bit impatient, if I'm being honest with you. I don't really kind of understand it, because if you look on the surface of it, prior to Potter coming in, we conceded, I think, 40 goals, right? 40 goals in 20 games under Lopetegui. Since he's come in, obviously Potter has drastically improved the defence to the point where he's conceded on average a goal per game. So he's conceded 9 goals in 9 league games. So he's essentially decreased the amount of goals we've conceded by half, right? So from a defensive point of view, he's done a tremendous job. Okay. I know we've spoken about it before, that, and I've said this as well, I've been disappointed by the fact that we don't seem to have much of an attacking threat. And it's almost like we've sacrificed an attack to defend, right? I don't necessarily think they should be mutually exclusive. Yeah. I think we should be able to do both. But I think obviously a lot of fans are probably getting a bit upset and irate by the fact that we still aren't looking that great going forward. But I guess to some extent, maybe, I'm not saying people have forgotten about this, but perhaps the fact that our defence has shored up so much by 50%, I think that's pretty significant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I'm hearing a bit of an echo on the line. Can you tell me, people in the chat, if you're hearing the echo when Chris speaks? Do you hear an echo when I speak?
I can't hear any echoes, mate.
I'm going to change to the other ear because it might be a little bit too close to the microphone. That should be. Yeah, you're not echoing now. It was me. Right. That'll teach me. Right. I mean, I've got a sort of hypothesis on this. I do feel that some people, he wasn't the choice of some people out there. It was my choice. I've got to say, it was my choice this time around. Absolutely was my choice. And that's why I'm sticking with him, because I'd see no reason to not stick with him so far. We've had an absolutely crap season. I mean, this has been monumentally bad, and we've got thumped regularly. I mean, if you look at the games before Potter came in, we got soundly beaten. I think we got thumped by Liverpool, City, and one other, didn't we? And that was just in the few games leading up to him taking over at Aston Villa for the FA Cup game, where we didn't disgrace ourselves. That was actually a decent little run there. Sorry, 1 second. Got to have some data in front of me of this, but I do feel that there is an impatience that was always there with Potter, because certain people didn't want him. He wasn't the glamorous foreigner. He was always seen as a little bit boring, a little bit dull, a normal English manager. I don't think he is, personally. I think he's got a lot of attributes, a lot of really exciting attributes, and a very good track record. And I think one day, if he carries on going well, if he does well with us, his next step will be the England job. I think with that.
Gary, this is not his squad, right? And this is the thing. You can't. I think it's so harsh to judge him at the moment, because he's essentially inherited this squad of players. How many of those players would he actually want in his first 11, right? Okay, if he had a choice. So that's the thing, and I think you've got to give him time. And I know everyone's kind of saying that as well. I think they're appreciative of the fact that we do need to give him time. But as I say, some people are. Yeah, I think people have kind of got their foot sort of one foot in both camps, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, we want entertaining football, give him time.
It feels to me, Chris. It feels to me, Chris, because he's using some of the players that David Moyes used, and because he's playing, not the expansive, free scoring style, which ain't his style anyway. It tends to be more of a controlled possession with, an attacking bent in terms of down the wings, getting crosses in when you've got a target man, and we ain't had a target man. So I'm kind of a little bit. I'm not surprised that this has happened. Let me say that. I'm not surprised at all. And the same old themes are coming up. The people comparing him with David Moyes. Every time someone's bored with a game of football that they're sitting at home watching on telly, they call it out as Moyes ball and say, "Oh, it's just the same as Moyes ball." And what rubbed it in even more after that last game, and again, this might be a little bit inflammatory, but I'll go with it anyway. Right, I'll go with it. This happened. That was the lovely greeting that the West Ham fans gave David Moyes, giving him a good clap, because they're the fans inside the ground, and I've got to say the fans inside the ground, even the ones at home, I mean, were a bit bored, but no one ever got on his back. I was really pleased to see that, and I'm not a Moyes fan in terms of football. I'm not a Moyes fan, but I was really pleased to see that. I thought it was a grown-up thing to do. He did win our first cup for bloody years, and nobody can deny that fact. And so. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that? It's the right thing to do, isn't it?
I called it out the other week when it was nearly 2 weeks ago now, but I called that out because despite the fact that, like you, I didn't want Moyes here any longer. I'm glad to see that it kind of he got that response and that reaction from the fans because that's kind of like all of that kind of stuff is done now, right? His time at West Ham is done, and at the end of the day, he won us a trophy. He did do a good job for us, and arguably he was one of our most successful managers, over the course of the last 40 years. So you've got to give credit where it's due. So I was actually really pleased to see that because hopefully that now kind of puts all that negative nonsense to bed and we can just move on, right? Because it's why are we still talking about Moyes anymore? And why are we comparing Moyes to Potter?
I'll tell you why we're talking about Moyes. Why we're talking about Moyes is because the Moyes midfield is still in full effect, as if he's got a raft of other players that he can pick from, right? He's got what he's got, and he's using them, and he's using them to reasonably decent effect as well. And again. Thank you, Dodsey, for these videos, by the way. Cracking videos. This one was the players, our players coming over with Potter at the end. They weren't furious with Potter. They weren't furious with the players. They'd just seen the players give their all and nearly win a game that was quite unlikely, given the current form, right? And listen to the song. So, Souček, low, right? Now that's, you've got the midfield, which was frankly incompetent under both of the last managers. Same players seemed quite competent. Not exciting, but they seem quite competent. As in, we're not losing 4-0 and 5-0. We're competing in every game. And when this manager arrived, I didn't really expect much this season. I've got to be honest. I definitely didn't expect to be entertained. What I said was, I want some credibility back. I just want us to be a credible opposition again, and I want to see us compete. Now that has been delivered with bells on. We have competed in every single game, apart from maybe Brentford.
Palace.
No, we did compete at Palace. That was a defensive mistake in the second half. That was playing out to be a draw, right? There's no two ways about it. That was a fuck up. You can blame him for the substitute, whatever, but it was an individual player error that caused that. And I think that's the only game where we've been out for the count has been Brentford. And he did get his tactics dreadfully wrong in Brentford. But let's look at the other games. I mean, he took over against Villa. The next day, he took an injury-ravaged side up to Villa, the FA Cup. I was there. You were there. Played bloody well and really unlucky. Got mugged off by VAR. Fulham. We beat them 3-2. Really surprising because they're a hot team. They were playing well, right? They were playing well at the time. Palace, disappointing, but it was an individual player error. Villa away, we could have won that, right? We definitely could have won that.
Yeah.
Chelsea away, we should have got a point out of that if it wasn't for some.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, VAR and that bloody, the fluke that won the game. And then the disappointment of Brentford, the elation of Arsenal, the easy rolling over of Leicester, and then a 1-0 home defeat to Newcastle. I know it weren't a great game to watch. I know we didn't have much in attack, but they're a good side, as they went on to prove that Sunday when they beat Liverpool at Wembley. And that night, I'm telling you now, it went completely contrary to the way I predicted, because I said the players would be protecting themselves, pulling out of tackles, all that sort of crap. No. Eddie, what's his name, basically made them play for their place in the final, which I was really surprised at. And to me, they played well. If you look at the first half, those couple of chances they got where Areola made them amazing saves.
Yeah.
Well, they were slide rule moves. I mean, they weren't gaping holes in our defence. They were slide rule moves. They were sort of top notch. And so, how can Newcastle are a good side. They've got a load of money. They're in a cup final. They're going for the Champions League. We lost 1-0 at home to them. So what? So what? Yeah. And then Everton, the last one, we're winning 1-0 until the last few minutes. Yeah, again, maybe he takes some responsibility for not bringing on some fresh legs. I think he tried to maybe use what's his name for too long, to Debo, but he's trying to get him to 90 minutes, and he basically ran out of steam on about 85. He had nothing left, but he's in Ramadan at the moment, isn't he? So maybe that was a mistake, but bloody close though, wasn't it? Bloody close.
It was. Now, I'm like you, because if you go back to the point of when, just before Potter took charge, I was just happy for us to honestly see out the season and just see some kind of gradual improvements, right? That's what I was looking for. And the main thing that I really wanted to see improve was defensively, because we were conceding so many goals. Like I've said, 40 goals in 20 games, 2 goals per game. All right. It's just ridiculous. So he's done that. He has actually done that. And you bear in mind, again, repeating some of the teams that you just mentioned, we played Aston Villa, Champions League team, Arsenal, it played some bloody good teams, Newcastle.
Yeah.
We were now conceding on average 1 goal per game. So on that basis alone, if you just isolate Lopetegui's 20 games, Potter's 9 games, defensively, we're a lot more resolute than we were before. I think that the big kind of frustration, and I've called out on a few occasions, Gary, so I do want to be entertained a bit more, and I do find it a little bit boring. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it because I understand, the kind of hand that Potter's been dealt, because that's, like I've said already, that is not his squad. That is a squad that he's inherited. And I think with a few players that hopefully he can bring in, in the summer, we can see a bit of a turn.
Let me just call out Barney Haymarket here. All right. You clearly don't know what you're talking about, Barney Haymarket. I like Gio, and I actually I don't watch many videos now. If I do watch one, it's one of his. So stop stirring trouble. Piss off. Anyway, go on, carry on.
Yeah, so I think, and no, honestly, I don't understand all that nonsense, by the way. Again, I agree with you on that. It's a load of nonsense. There's no digging out or anything. I think it's just based off of like literally friends, people that we talk to, because we know a lot of West Ham people. So we have these conversations, and some people ultimately will say, really don't think Pop was the right choice for the right, whatever, that's fine. And this is all about opinions, right? So it's not digging out people. But no, I think, again, if I go back to before Potter took charge, I just wanted to see the defence shoring up a little bit, which has happened. Yes, I am bored. I'm not going to lie. I have been bored with certain performances this season, but I will accept that on the basis of we know what hand he's been dealt, the players that he's got to deal with. It's a difficult one because ultimately what he has done is 5 at the back, 2 wing backs. So he's effectively taking someone from one of the attacking positions, whether that's from an attacking midfield position or up front, like Evan Ferguson, into to have another defender in there. But it's the goals. So I think you can't have it both ways unless you've got the right players at his disposal. And I don't think he does have the right players at his disposal right now to go out there and do both. Like I said, they're kind of mutually exclusive in terms of defending and attacking. I think give him time and then start judging him. Don't get on his back yet, because we've done this too soon with so many managers, and I just don't want to see that,
Why do we want to change manager all the time? Why do people get such itchy feet when they've, their favourite TV show ain't working out the way they want it to, The people in the ground, they're actually quite... I mean, the Everton game, I watched it on telly. I quite enjoyed it, especially the second half. I thought we were good. Yeah. It was a bit bloody worrying at the end, I must admit. But how could you not enjoy that game of football in the second half? I mean, the first half, it was dull. It was
Yeah,
dull.
it
But
was.
if you couldn't see the difference between the first half and the second half, and how we changed shape and how we, loaded on the right hand side and really caused them problems, then you ain't watching very closely. But to
Yeah.
round all that up and summarise it and say it's just Moyes ball, that's nonsense. I'm
It's not
sorry,
Moyes'
it's
fault.
nonsense.
No, yeah,
Right?
it's not Moyes' ball, and I think if people are saying that honestly, with all due
No,
respect, I don't think you really understand
boring.
football.
Chris, boring equals Moyes ball in
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah,
people's
yeah.
vocabulary, right? It
Mm.
doesn't matter what form of defensive football it is, and it doesn't matter how misfiring your front players are, which they are. But again, he's playing the players he's been given. I mean, literally, the only person he was allowed to bring in the window was an injured striker. Well, someone coming back from injury, who don't look anywhere near match sharp yet.
Yeah.
Right? We've just got to hope that Fulkrug does something, if only to push up his price for the summer, because he's definitely out of it, isn't he?
Well,
But
mate, I'll tell you what, he's looking sharp in training. If you watch those
yeah,
videos, he's looking pretty sharp. He's got a new, I think he's dyed his
yeah.
hair yellow as well. So he's looking half decent in those
Has he?
videos. So hopefully, yeah, it looks like
Yellow?
yellow. Yeah, it looked like it was like yellowy blonde. I think he's dyed his hair. But regardless, I think I'm hoping that he comes back. And yeah, with regards to the whole Potter situation, for me, way too early. I'm going to call it out now. I am bored with some of this football. I'm not going to lie. I am. I'm with so many fans on this. It is boring. It's fucking painful when you go and watch this sometimes. But it's all in kind of perspective,
Top moderating from me and Claire. She's booted Barney the troublemaker out. Clearly a fake name. But anyway, well done, Claire. Yeah. I think I've never seen a set of West Ham fans be so bloody impatient. You remember Lopetegui? We said give him 10 games. We gave him 10 games. In fact, we gave him more than 10 games because there was a surprise round about the 10th game where we actually won one. That one away to Newcastle. We thought, hang on a minute, maybe it ain't as bad, but it was worse. But this has just been steady for 9 games with a couple of really delightful moments and a couple of mild disappointments. How can that make you really, really angry? I don't get it. When I said, like I said about the Newcastle game, I got in the car and just immediately forgot about the game. It didn't make me angry.
Do you know what it is, mate? Gal, I think it's
Yeah.
just a continuation of kind of, the fact that this season has just gone so pear-shaped for all of us.
Yeah,
It's just,
it
I
could
think
be
it's
that.
just I think it's just frustration. So
it could
everything
be-
that Lopetegui built up
Yeah.
is kind of continued. And I think that's unfair because I think you've got to look at the improvements, and it's clearly evident. It's there for all to see. I've already called out the stats from a defensive point of view. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think be patient. And this season is a write-off. 100% this season is a write-off. But as I say, we just got to kind of see it through, back the manager, hope that we can retain our better players and hopefully bring in some more during the summer and then see where it takes us. I'm certainly going to reserve judgment for, I'd say, a good part of, the first 10, 15 games of next season.
I've got another video as well of the crowd singing it wholeheartedly. If you want, I'm talking about the Suchek song. So Sweetness 34. I know Dodsy's in the chat as well. Dodsy's watching anyway. I don't know if he's in the chat, but it didn't sound like 10% to me.
No. I know a load of people that went to that game as well, Gary, and they said that that was being sung. So
here's the other Suchek song because they sung it earlier, obviously after he scored. Looks a bit more than 10% to me. I'm assuming that means that's the one you're talking about, not the Champions of Europe thing. I don't know, but there you go. I think if when there's a determination to have an agenda against someone, and there has been a massive agenda against Suchek for a couple of years, he's a really great servant to us. There's no getting away from it. Every manager plays him. There's a reason for that. He's a leader. He scored a great goal the other day as well. And yet, what you want to slag him after that? I know he's not the most cultured footballer. I know that maybe he's not going to be the perfect footballer for us going forward. But David Moyes reputedly wants him. He wants to offer him, if you believe what you read, 30 grand a week more. Apparently, he wants a new deal with us as well. It'd be interesting to see how Potter sees this one, because I think he sees things very clinically in will that player fit his system. Or if he can't swap, if he don't think he's going to be able to do so much business over the summer, will he do for another season or something like that? But I think he'll have a plan for everybody that he keeps and everybody that he brings in. And the ones that don't fit with his mould, I'm pretty sure he's going to be wanting to move them on, which is quite good for what's his name, Maxwell Cornet, apparently doing pretty well, right? Is it for Vieira he's playing for?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, over in Italy, isn't it? Yeah.
He apparently really likes him, so that must be the old Maxwell Cornet coming back, because he was a good player once, wasn't he? So
Well, he was
good.
about 3 or 4 years ago, but he's. I'm not even looking at that as an option. To be honest with you, Gal, like the whole Souček thing, like I've got massive respect for him in terms of what he's done for West Ham. He's been a great servant, scored a lot of goals, highest scoring Premier League midfielder for us. So you can't disregard that, but. I must admit, I wouldn't mind if he did leave us in the summer, Gal, provided we can get a strong, a box-to-box goal-scoring midfielder, someone like that can replace him. Then, of course, I would rather us replace him. I would, but I do love Souček, though. I do, based on what he's done for us.
Yeah, no, look, I totally agree. But all this criticism, it started 2 games. In fact, it started the game after Arsenal when we rolled Leicester over in a not very entertaining, didn't get out of first gear way. When we lost to Newcastle, fucking hell, people were furious. We lost 1-0 at home to Newcastle, for Christ's sake. What's your problem? And then we drew.
It's because it was boring,
Everton.
Gal, it's because it was boring.
I get that, Chris. I get that, Chris. And you've got more of a reason to be upset than anybody else, like I said before, because you went to the pain of recording a blog that night, and that is a lot of footage and a lot of effort. And we fucking lost 1-0 at home to Newcastle in a boring game, right? But again, at the moment. A prerequisite for me at the moment is not to be entertained. I just want to see us do well, get up the league as far as we can, continue making life difficult for good teams, and getting the odd. We will get the odd surprise result, good result, and we'll get the odd bad result before the end of the season, because that's our form at the moment. I'll tell you what will be interesting though.
But that is West Ham, though, Gal. That is West Ham. That is exactly West Ham all over in general, right?
Yeah. Let's see what people in the chat think about this. So let's have a look. Got to go down to the actual comments. As people saying hello to themselves. I nearly put a comment up from that geezer. Hang on, he's gone. He is no more. Potter did get his subs wrong against Everton, in all honesty. Yeah, John, and I think he's human and he will make mistakes. Like I said, he made mistakes against Brentford with the tactics. That was pretty bad. And to me, I think going like for like against Palace was a bit of a mistake as well. But he's going to do it. He's trying these players out that he didn't choose. They're players that he's been given. He's trying them in different formations. I know he wants to get Todibo, who has been very impressive, Todibo, and he was against Everton right until the end of that game when he ran out of steam. He was cramping up, right? He should have taken him off, but he didn't, right? So yeah, he's got to take some responsibility, but that doesn't mean he's useless, right? And I know you're not saying that, John. I know you're not saying that, but some people will say that. They'll just lose their shit and just say, fucking useless, didn't bring the player, as if they know what the pressures of a Premier League football manager actually are. I wouldn't call playing a back 5 improvement. Well, it wasn't really a back 5, was it? It's a 3, and let's be honest. Let's not be disingenuous about this. It is not a back 5. I mean, it's a back 5 when we're defending, but most of the time it's wing backs pushing forward. It's 3 at the back, right? So let's not dress it up as more negative than it is. I know some people desperately want it to be as negative as Moyes, but sorry, it ain't. It's crazy talk questioning Potter's ability after such a short period of time, says Chris. Absolutely it is. 9 games. Bloody hell. I mean, I just don't get who we lost to. 1-0 at home to Everton. 1-0 at home to Brentford. 2-0 at home to Palace. What else? Is that it? Is that all we've lost? Yeah, that's all we've lost in the Premier League. Yeah, we lost the FA Cup. We lost 3. Is that right? Thought we lost 4, but no, we lost 3. Palace, Chelsea, Brentford, Newcastle. 4. I got it wrong. Yeah, but again, none of those are a disgrace apart from Brentford in my eyes. I mean, I think we've been frustrated by Palace before. We know we find it hard with this particular set of players playing against a 4-5-1, similar sort of system as us, a counter-attacking team, don't we? We know that's a problem. That's why I had my doubts going up to Everton, even though I predicted a win, because I always do. Considering where we were when Potter came in, I'm quite happy with how things have gone. Absolutely, Jason, because injury crisis until about 4 games ago. I mean, literally had no... I mean, Paqueta's in court at the moment. He ain't going to be available again, is he? Right? So it's just like... It goes from out of the frying pan into the fire. It's like he's never... There's been about 2 games when he's had his whole... apart from Antonio, and Fulkrug and Somerville, the ones that are kind of a little bit longer term. But the rest of them I'm talking about, it's only been about 2 games where he's had the rest of them available to him. But that don't count now. It don't count. I don't know why. 90% of West Ham fans respect Moyes. Best 3 years of our life. Everyone slags off Souček, yet 4 managers pick him. Moyes, Loppy, Potter, international manager pick him. What do they know? I was exactly. He's a good trainer. He's a leader. He does what he says on the tin. He's a very untechnical footballer, if you like. He does physical things. You know, he gets his body in the way. He blocks. He makes late runs into the box. He does this. You know, there's certain basics that you get out of him every time, pretty much, unless you play him up front as a striker, which that'll always. It wasn't a striker, but yeah, it was, wasn't it?
He was. He's playing as a 9, weren't he, at certain stages?
Yeah. That wasn't good. That wasn't pretty. Potter does need to have the chance to build the squad. However, if he does get the players he wants, it's only fair that he proves to the fans what he can do. We can get a happy medium with style and results. Yeah, I think we will. And don't forget, I said this before, but again, it depends what you believe. But this is what I believe, because it's been done before, and that is he plans for a destination. He plans to arrive somewhere, and when he arrives somewhere, then you see his team and his football, and it will get you results with a team like West Ham. It got results for Chelsea, believe it or not. Their actual results weren't bad, but they weren't good enough for Chelsea because they wanted to be chasing the Premier League. But with Brighton in that last season when he left, they were up there in the top 4. But that is that took like 3 or 4 seasons to get there. He's not going to get that time here. For a start, he's only got another 2 years left on his contract. He got a 2.5-year deal, didn't he? So he's going to want to make things happen more quickly, but he will get more financial backing here than he got before at Brighton. And so, because of that, he will be expected to turn things around. It's kind of a happy medium.
We hope, Gal. We hope that. Gal. We hope he gets the financial backing. That's the thing. I mean, that's. I'm slightly concerned about that, in truth, but we'll have to wait and see what the transfer kitty looks like in the summer, because who knows?
So am I. And the excuses are being rolled out already. But frankly, I've been not really taking much notice because it's just it's just fucking.
Well, it's gossip, isn't it?
It's tomorrow's fish and chip wrapper, isn't it? It's just like it's not worth worrying about all the gossip and rumours, which is why I've kind of stayed away from them a little bit, And again, I ain't having to go at other people who do gossip and rumours. I do it well, but I just if my heart's not in something, I'm not going to do it, right? And I think Chris is the same. Having said that, when it comes to transfer window, we'll be doing gossip and rumours again. There you go. I think Somerville will make us 10 times more fun to watch. Yes, he will. And taking that pace out of the side, that lightning pace, and what he did to him in that Villa game in terms of playing him on as basically a right wing back, was genius. Because there were a couple of times in that first half where he put in last ditch tackle. I didn't know he had that in him.
No, he was exceptional that game, wasn't he? He was so good. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I mean, who would have thought to have played him at right wing back anyway? I mean, it was unbelievable. I was so stunned to see him play there, but he was incredibly effective that night. He really was.
But how fast did he look as well? How fast did he look? I mean, he looked shit off a shovel, didn't he?
And he was man of the match.
When you got one player like that, injecting that degree of pace, and other players move with him, it gives the illusion, because even Fulkrug looked quick until he pulled his hamstring. He was probably running too quick. That's what it was. Paul, where are you? Where's it snowing? Bloody hell. You in Siberia or something? I don't know. Yes. A noisy minority trudge. Always. But it's the social media minority, I think. And that's I guess I ain't been seeing much of it in social media because I ain't really been looking at social media. Like things like X and stuff like that. I stopped that weeks ago. I can't be bothered with that. And I stopped watching other channels weeks ago. Like I said earlier, I watch Gio occasionally just to catch up on stuff because I do like his post-match reviews and stuff like that. I think they're the best. And so that's what I do. If I want to, if I've been to see a game, if I want an honest review on what's actually happened, because sometimes you see something in a game, it's not quite as you think as you think it is, and I like it to be validated. I like my thoughts to be validated. So I do sometimes. If we're going to make a show later, I'll watch on the way home to check my facts. Sometimes catches me out completely. I got to be honest. Oh yeah. No, let's not give him any more airtime, Gio. Sorry. Okay, so JWP as well is another target. Predictably, I don't. Again, JWP did better in that last game in the second half when he was pushed forward. I think he's got to be. I don't think JWP is going to be here, and I don't. My personal opinion, I think they'll move one of the two on. Most likely to be Souček because there's a buyer for him. I don't think you're going to get. There's a clear buyer for him, right? Let's not muck around. And if he goes with my best wishes. I think he's been an amazing servant. And don't forget, of all the things he's done, he was the one that nodded the ball down to Paqueta to play the ball to Bowen to win that cup.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm.
So I can't find it in my heart to slag Souček off because he's a gentle giant. You can see it. He's a nice bloke. Everybody likes him, right? Kent Hammers. We played well at Everton. If we hold on for 4 more minutes, perfect away performance. Our away performances and Potter have been really encouraging. Yes, they have. They've been amazing. That's why I had a little bit of optimism away at Everton, even though the style of football I sort of thought was a little bit maybe not suited to us, Kent. Can see a massive improvement under him. I can too. I sat there and watched the Leicester game, for instance. I know you hated it, Chris, right? But each their own. You might hate something, but you don't come out and say manager out. You just say I hated it. It was boring, right?
Yeah, I was bored. I was bored
shitless,
shitless, mate. Right? But let's get again context around this guy. You were up with the prawn sandwich, in the prawn sandwich lounge. So you were kind of chatting around. You. I don't know if you were totally focused on the game. From what I saw, it was bloody dreadful. Even though we won 2-0, right? I'm going to be honest. So maybe you had a very different perspective to me in that respect because I found it dull.
I was maybe being in that elevated position, Chris, gave me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think
it
you
is.
Probably did.
You've changed, mate. You've changed. Honestly,
you know what?
It's too frequent. This is now.
The word on the street, Chris, is that I might be going to a box at Liverpool and another one at Man U for West Ham.
I know about the Man U one.
Yeah. You're coming to that. So. Then do we start to?
But I am not going to Liverpool away. There's no way. No way.
To question you and your motivations, Chris. If you're suddenly in a box, and that's why I've done it to you, right?
It won't, mate. It's a one-off. I've done it a few times, and I'm not a fan. I just feel so isolated from the real fans and everything else. And I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, no. But up there, you're at the Stretford end behind the Man U fans. So if we get a result, it's going to be so sweet. It's going to be so funny. It's so funny. The second half. The second half was great football, says Paul. In my opinion, too bad we couldn't hang on for 3 minutes. I was peed off. Yeah, peed off. I wasn't peed off. I was sitting there behind a cushion, praying for it to end. And then because it was clear it was coming, when we just got deeper.
It was a fair result, Gal. I think on the balance of play, I think a draw was the right result.
Yeah. And Tommy, I think hits a nail on the head here. Season's a write-off, yeah, and it was. But I do think what Chris said earlier, it is with some people it's like the build-up of utter crap, and then Potter comes in, doesn't switch it to exciting football overnight, and people just get frustrated. Is what it is.
Well, everyone expects that kind of new manager bounce where suddenly this is completely drastic change in terms of how we're playing football. It does happen with some clubs and some managers, but again, I go back to what I've said. Look at the personnel he's got. We don't have enough of an attacking threat. We've had injuries, we've had all kinds of stuff going on. So we had no strikers, or injured striker in Ferguson just coming back, all this kind of stuff. So look, I think just give the guy some bloody time. Honestly, just give it time. I can't. I'm like you. I'm not really watching much stuff on social media. There's a couple of things I watch now and again, but in general, I don't, because a lot of it is like really inflammatory, and I can't be bothered to click on something where it says, you know what, like all the I just can't do it because I don't want to drag myself down, Gal. I don't.
No.
I feel bad. I feel miserable enough with some of the football I'm watching without making it like reinforcing that feeling by watching more channels slagging them off.
I think with me, if I watch lots of channels, it ends up affecting the way I think about things, and I'm trying to just keep my own values, my own thoughts, right? This is from Joe the Hammer. People like to be pissed off and miserable. Potter is doing a good job. Can't wait to see under him next season after a good summer window. Yeah, me as well. I'm genuinely excited by it, and I'm genuinely excited to get this fucking season out of the way and get into the summer so that we can put this muck behind us. By the way, I'm so excited. I renewed my fucking season tickets. I renewed both of them the other day. I did it. I bit the bullet, Chris. I got me bonus.
You wanted
points.
the 3 points. I will do it, but I know just out of principle, I'm going to do it on the 31st or the 30th. I just can't be bothered to do it at the moment.
You're such a wind up. Karen's sitting there watching. She's watching all those season ticket holders, right? They flag up. I'll be one of her favourites.
Oh, Gal, do you know what, right? Get this. This is my day. I knew my day was going to be bad, right? Because I woke up this morning, I'm faffing around on my phone on YouTube. And do you know what pops up as a recommended video for me to watch? It was Karen Brady basically talking about her grand plans for the Olympic Stadium. And I don't know why I did it, but I ended up watching the whole fucking video. And it really got me agitated and angry. I was like, fucking hell, what a way to start the day is to watch that. I haven't watched that back in years. And I watched it and I was thinking, oh my God, how she was talking about how it's going to be enclosed and that will really create more of an atmosphere and everything else and closer to the pitch. I was like, oh my God. And the bit that really gets me, Gal, I've got to say it, the bit that really gets me goes, you know, we knew that you had to trust us and you did trust us. No, we never fucking trusted you. We never trusted you, love. And I don't even know why I put myself to watch it. I don't know why I did it, Gal. What's wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? So
Stop watching it, Chris. Stop watching it. It's only designed to wind you up.
I couldn't help it. I just thought, why is it popped up?
It drew you
like
in.
Why?
You had no choice.
Yeah, but why is it popping up like that? Why is it doing that to me on a Sunday morning? Wake up, there it is. I mean, it's fucking 11 years old, Gal. Popped up there as something I should be watching. I've seen it before. I don't want to watch it again, but I did.
Right. Just got something on Brady, by the way, and this is something that was it was about the football governance bill. You know that thing she stood up in the House of Lords and sort of spoke about how brilliant season ticket holders are and all that sort of stuff. You know, wonderful. Oh, season tickets are the lifeblood of the football club. I mean, absolutely. Well, she did all that, and it was a really long speech, quite dull, really long. But it turns out, really, the only bit that she was unhappy with was she attacked the fitness test clause, knowing it would it may have ramifications. So this is fitness to own a football club, right? So it's interesting. There's a clause around directors being sued by this new governance body. That's really all I know about it. But again, it's been reported in a couple of places.
For what? Exactly.
That's a bit odd. The thing to get aerated over, isn't it? But there you go. It's by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, give Chris's video with Ian Foyer from a couple of days ago interview. That geezer is living his best life. He might have just been our backup goalkeeper in a really pivotal time, and he may know lots of our kind of more fun players very, very well. But when you consider his dad, he was brought up in Las Vegas, and his dad was he used to play in a band with Elvis Presley, Sinatra, Rat Pack, all this stuff. And he was the best bit. The thing that made me sit up and listen was, oh yeah, this guy was kind of sponsoring my career, and he was an Italian bloke. And then you flashed up the cover, the advert for Casino, the film. This guy's dad was what that film was based on. He's a mafia boss,
isn't it? See, I remember Ian Foyer from as a kid, with the poster on the wall and everything. And I used to look at it and think, Jesus, this guy is massive, because he was like towering over Ludo. Just goes to show how tall this guy was.
Yeah.
And I found out a little bit about him. I was like, I need to reach out to him. And then we had a really long chat when I was driving up to Liverpool. Spoke for about an hour and a half. And honestly, I couldn't believe what he was coming up with. I couldn't. I was like, I don't know. And I've spoken to tons of players. I don't know any players that have had such a kind of a diverse and fulfilling life like he has. It's so different. And this is the thing. So it's relatively easy to get certain players to come on channels. It is. It's not that hard, really. It's really not that hard. But the whole point of getting kind of some of these players part of the extended West Ham families, they've got really interesting stories. And that's the kind of prerequisite for any kind of ex-player or anyone associated with West Ham to come on here, because mate, he's like a DJ, he's an actor, he played the Predator, it's crazy.
I know,
so,
Alien versus Predator, he's the Predator, our old goalkeeper, he's the Predator. And now he's done more films. He was so good in that, he got the part because he was tall and he could fill out the suit, but he did so well that he got like loads of other work, and now he's doing his own stunts as well, because the bloke they hired to do the stunts was too short to do the stunts. They said, I'd do them.
I know it's mental, but honestly, there's nothing that guy. I don't think he will always give everything a try. He'll always give it a go. But what an interesting guy.
Sorry, I don't remember saying I watched it on TV. I deny it. All right, I deny it. Okay, Gary, Chris, thank Evans for a bit of common sense. Potter has had very little time to sort the team out. We need to be patient with Potter. He'll be good for us. Yeah, and that's BJJ. Yeah, I agree, BJJ. I think it's way too early, and failing to take it. It's like there's this rule of 10 games, and after 10 games, you've got to deliver the open, attacking, free scoring team. Anything less is shit, right? Come on, it's boys' ball. Yeah, and having a go at JWP. Look at the geezer's season, right? He got told by Lopetegui that he was wanted. Then he got rid of him, put him on loan to Forest. Then he ends up on Forest's bench. Then he comes back to West Ham, and he's done all right since he's come back. Let's face it, he's done a job. He's done a job in a functional midfield, not an exciting midfield, but a functional one. And a couple of corners he took the other night were crackers as well, right? The other day. Right, I thought the Leicester game was very professional. We needed to win. That's exactly what I thought. Joe the Hammer. No point putting every man forward. No, there wasn't. And it was just like, if you can win at a canter like that, why wouldn't you? Roll them over. Next game.
Were you two sharing a prawn sandwich up in the lounge or something? Because I agree with it. Like, up there. Yeah. It's a job done, but come on, I mean, flipping, you want us to. I think they're there for the taking. Arguably, for me, one of the worst teams I've seen play this season. Right. So when you're winning 2-0 and you barely get out first gear, let alone second, it's frustrating.
Take the players off and rest them and make them play your second team. That's what.
Okay. So why don't we play just completely kind of switching gears here? Switching gears a little bit. Why not play the likes of Guilherme in those types of games? Do you know what I mean? Give those guys a chance, because they will be chomping at the bit to really have an impact on those types of games, because they're not getting solid minutes else, in any of the other games. So why don't you play Guilherme? I don't get that.
Andy Armit, Evan Ferguson has started for the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
No, it hasn't been mentioned, Andy. Has he played? Has anyone watched it? Let us know. Be funny if he's fit. A few weeks ago, I came out with a conspiracy theory all of my own from inside my head. And that was to do with maybe you just want to leave him teetering on the brink until the last 2 or 3 games. And then maybe he'll come on and he'll kind of show what he can do. Or maybe he's waiting. We're safe now, right? Maybe he's waiting for Fulkrug to come back so as Fulkrug can make an impression so that he can get a move. And that's a priority over Ferguson. I don't know. There's so many ways you could look at this.
Yeah.
He's got to increase the value of the players available to him. I think he's done that with Alvarez without a shadow of a doubt, right? And several others as well. I think Ward-Prowse has got value now. I don't think he did have before. I think Souček's got more value than he had. I think the one who's probably stagnated, although even though he's playing better and he had a much better second half against Everton, was Kudus, and he was good again against who was it? Arsenal. He was fantastic, wasn't he, against Arsenal?
Yeah, so it's all has the start, so Gal. I mean, if you look at the Everton game, he suddenly only came alive when Souček scored. Apart from that, he was really poor leading up to that goal. He was ineffective. Yeah.
Well, he had a better second half. If statistically, he did. You really can't judge Potter till Christmas when we'll have 5 months. Yeah. And I mean, we want to see a pre-season, not a failed pre-season. Last season was such an atrocious pre-season, the worst one I've ever seen. We wasted all that time in the USA playing in storm damaged. Well, no, actual. What was it? Fault lightning and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the States when there's fault lightning. You don't want to go out in that shit. You don't want to do that. I was once in a restaurant with had a metallic roof, like it's corrugated iron roof. It was a Mexican restaurant out in Texas, and there was fault lightning come down. So I went inside for shelter. Scary stuff,
It is. Stuff. Oh yeah, I've seen it in New York before. I had to have my flight cancelled. It was just horrific. Yeah. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, typically you, slightest thing. Blame your flight. Yeah.
What?
Oh, Heathrow's. Is Heathrow up again yet? Talking of Heathrow, Gary, Chris, thank Evans for a bit of common sense. Potter. Yes, we've done that one already, haven't we? So, where are we in the? Let's go down to the bottom here. Let's go down to the bottom and get some new ones. Right. So, what did Gio say? Where's Gio? Has he said something about the stats in here? Where are we?
Well, I can see this one here. He said apparently he sent you a picture of his new shirt. I don't know what that is.
Have you? Oh, I'll have to have a look. Interesting. So, no pre-season. Injuries galore and shipping 4 or 5 goals a game. Roll on the summer, by the way. Is this the only this is the only channel I watch now? You should also watch Gio on Hammer's channel. Right. So, just saying. That video was amazing. Yeah, I think it was, Unfortunately, views on West Ham content at the moment are massively down across the board. Not just us, but it's I think people have there's a bit of apathy set in this season, and I think once that happened and they realised it weren't going to be, oh, here it is. He's WhatsApped it across. Ah, brilliant. Yeah. Oh God, he's got Pablo Fornals'. Well, it looks like his current shirt. Yeah, it is. It's his current shirt, a signed Pablo Fornals shirt.
Oh, nice.
Tell you what, I'll always love that player. I'll always love that player. I'd have that on my wall. Definitely.
Man, I would have him back. I would have him back and replace him with one of our midfielders now.
He's a legend. He's a legend. Like that conversation we had with Chris Akabusi about him, very rarely do you get someone who absolutely buys in to an overseas club like that. He lived and breathed West Ham, and they flushed him out for Calvin Phillips.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I'll never get over it. Right. And some people think he wanted to go like hell. Right. Ferguson. Here we go. Ferguson update. Yeah, but that video was amazing. Thank you for saying that, Mrs. Katrina Chambers. Yeah, sorry, my eyes. I'm going to improve all this soon, so I won't have to squint so much. Right. Ferguson, Trodge says, not getting a touch. And that's playing for Republic of Ireland. Who are they playing against? Is it Egypt B or something?
I don't know. But either way, what it does mean is that he's fit to play. So I would like to see him getting more minutes. I would.
Yeah.
So, it'd be good to see him start in the next game. But if he doesn't start, certainly playing a bit more than what he has done recently.
Yeah.
He's been 2 months ago. He's been nearly for 2 months, so I don't buy that he cannot be fit yet. He's not actually had an injury since he's been with us, has he? Right, just to get it right, he's been building his fitness up, hasn't he?
There must be something wrong. Right?
I don't think we're going to sign him, Gal. I don't think we're going to sign him. Well, I don't, unless his price goes right down.
Going back to what I was told about him, which I said before he joined, and that is that once he signed his new contract with Brighton, it went to his head. He's surrounded by some not very useful people in terms of the football club. And so his ego got the better of him. This season, it got to the point where him and the manager were not even talking. The coach were not even talking. So they had to get him out. And Brighton's form has improved since they got him out. So God knows what kind of disruption he was causing in the dressing room. But I like to think that hasn't transferred itself here. You wouldn't think so, would you? You wouldn't think so.
Potts will know the player, so I don't think he would have brought that kind of toxicity into the squad.
No.
Why would he do that in a new job? I can't see that.
Yeah. No, again, I hope it's just. I hope it ain't the guy, the player himself. I hope that he's just felt aggrieved about something, and that happens, right? It can just be a falling out with two people. When you move to a different environment, you do better, right? But it doesn't bode well, does it? Kudus been useless. I wouldn't say useless. I think he's been defensively very, very good, and I think second half in the last game he was very, very good. Excellent against Arsenal, top draw. Trying to remember the other game he did well. Was it Chelsea? Did he do all right against Chelsea? I think he did, didn't he?
I can't remember. But I think that we're saying he's useless based on, I guess, the levels that we know he can play at. And by that, if you look at it in that respect, he has been.
Yeah. There's no grey area there in that statement. Kudus has been useless.
I'm going to get rid of that shirt, Gal. I don't want. There's no point me having it anymore because I've already kind of resigned to the fact that he's going to go. So I'm going to replace that with Antonio's. I don't think he's going to be.
But when he becomes the new Messi and he's like World Player of the Year and stuff like that, it'd be worth a fortune. It's his early career, right? It's his early career, and that's the shirt from last season probably where he scored that wonder goal, right? So it'd be worth a fortune. Worth a fortune. Is it actually a match-worn shirt?
Well, that one.
Yeah.
No, I've got the only match-worn shirt I've got. James Ward-Prowse's and Kilman's match-worn shirts, but no, right. that one's not. No.
What match were they worn in, Chris? Were they wins?
Oh man, I'll tell you, the one that the Ward-Prowse's was worn in the Brighton match last season. It was one of the worst. Oh no, it was horrific. Christ. Yeah, I know.
So I threw it away outside the ground and someone picked it up. Is that what it was?
No. A friend of mine gave it to me that sponsors West Ham.
I think Trudge, it's difficult, isn't it? Because that ain't true. You know that Kudus on form is we were calling him world class last year because some of the stuff he was doing, wasn't it? I think at the moment you can say his end product is AWB's better, but I think the player himself is a wonderful player on his game. He's incredible. You know, that's why Arsenal wanted him. That's why Liverpool wanted him. And if he ever reaches that, I don't think we're going to sell him for anywhere near his value over the summer, and that's why I don't think we'll sell him. But I don't think
I think he'll push for a move though, Gal. I think he will push
yeah.
for a move.
And this is what Joe Hammer's saying. What do we think his value is? I think his value is probably, look, everyone knows how good he can be, and if you put him in a good side that's attacking all the time and he gets on the front foot, and where a good team where they've got lots of attacking options and they don't, defending teams can't just focus their energy on stopping
Liverpool, he would be unstoppable at Liverpool.
It'd be different. It'd be worth 150 million if he signs for Liverpool within about a year. I'm convinced of it. The worst
right now, 50 million, no more than that. Honestly, based on his performances this season, it's just dropped massively.
Yeah, I'd say Mrs. Katrina Chambers says 40 million. I said 60 because I think nobody's forgotten how good he is, right? So he's off form at the moment, and he's played in a shit team for most of this season. He's doing better just lately, but not in an attacking sense. He seems really goal shy at the moment, whereas, it seemed to be a natural instinct of him, didn't it, of his, to ping the ball away from wherever he was. Some of the goals he scored were stupendous last season, weren't they?
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah, they were. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, teams are doubling up on him more than they ever did, last season, because he was an unknown quantity, wasn't he, to the Premier League? So it has been harder for him in that respect. But yeah, regardless, he's not been on it.
Say this ain't true, or at least if it's true, say we're not going to the same.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah,
we're not going to Florida. We're not going to Florida.
Mate, it's been fucking advertised all over the shop.
Yeah, well, I ain't been looking. Well, we're going to Florida.
At the games.
Not Florida.
I can't remember, but I think Man United are going out there. I can't remember. There's a few Premier League teams going out there as well. Yeah. Do you fancy it? Away days? Yeah.
Well, Trodge, he didn't only look world class when we bought him. He looked world class for us as well for a period of time, didn't he? I mean, I don't know if you, I just don't know how you can not agree with that. But yes, I do have a spreadsheet. I have many spreadsheets. I love a spreadsheet, mate.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, I live by a spreadsheet.
Dan, it might be 85 million release clause, but it doesn't matter, mate.
We
ain't worth that.
That's for sure.
Yeah, not a chance.
And this one here, where it said Joe Hammer's saying 35 million, no, he's talking silly. That's never going to happen. Listen, we might as well keep him and do our best. Oh, that shirt of Gio's, match worn. Yes. He'd come back as manager one day. Take us to our first league title. Imagine that. You can make a film
with Guilherme playing up front, Gal playing as the next Pele.
Yes. The light's gone out on Guilherme.
Is he still there? I can't see.
It's still you can't see him because we've got a different format of screen, but the light has failed above him, and I think that's quite telling.
Right? Maybe just move it quickly.
That's quite telling.
He's in the dark.
He's in the dark. I'm sorry, Guilherme. I tried, mate. I tried.
Are you going to keep that there? I mean, what's the plan with Guilherme in your little on your shelf there? You're going to keep him there for a while, are you? Until the point he leaves West Ham and gets.
I'm going to give him a couple of games. And see what happens, right? Because I just think that he hasn't had a chance yet, and I think when we get to the end of the season, when the games really don't matter, I think that's when you might see a few more kids playing, and you might see him get a bit more game time. Especially against the likes of Ipswich, right? The last game of the season, and there's one or two others that I'd say would be.
Do you know what it would be nice, Gal? With on that basis, right? Just quickly on that basis, it would be good actually with regards to Guilherme getting some minutes, because if he does go, at least we can have something to base it off of. But at the moment, we have nothing to base it off of. We don't, because we don't know whether he's good or bad. We just don't know. We haven't seen enough of him. Yeah,
I think this without an option to buy again. I think that was the only way they were going to loan him to us, from what I heard. That wasn't even on the table, because he was worth 80 million when he played, well, market rate anyway. They were touting him for 80 million after he played about 15 games of Brighton, 20 games of Brighton, and scored a load of goals and got a new contract. He was the next big thing. They still think he's a chance of being the next big thing, but it's diminishing, right? It's diminishing. But they thought that Potter could be the one who could get his head back together, because he is a sort of head doctor, isn't he? Well,
I'll tell you what, Katrina is one hell of a stato, because she's pulled up this for, I think...
54 minutes.
Yeah, 54 minutes for Guilherme this season. And who was the other player? I think, Katrina also had another player up there just now, knew exactly how many minutes he'd be playing this season. That's nothing. 54 minutes! How can you judge a player for that?
Katrina versus Zanussi as the best stat.
There's a new statos.
Yeah. So yes, yes, it's true. He sounds like another Ashby. Yeah, I really do expect Potter will have a very good idea of who he wants to sign in something. Yeah, I think he will as well, and I think it'll be a mixed bag, right? It'll be a mixed bag of we're bound to make some established signings, but I expect him to sign some players who are gonna. What he needs to play his system is he needs a first team, but he also needs a squad so that he can swap parts out as needed. Now, some of those squad positions are going to be filled by youth players, clearly, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few more bought in development players, not expensive like Guilherme, right? But raw materials that can come in and hopefully impress. If Cole McCauley is as good as he claims.
Well, Gal, bit of a breaking news thing, right, from me, because again, I don't profess to be an ITK, I never will do. But one thing I do know for 100% certain is that Graham Potter was out in Lille just before the Newcastle game, and I know that 110% factual. I don't want to go into reasons why.
So, I've seen the photo. The photo.
All right, yeah. But he was definitely up there, but I've been told to keep that on the down low, right? So there may or may not be a photo, Gal. But anyway, my point being is that surely he can only be out there for one of two reasons: Angel Gomez, Jonathan David, right? Now, we've all heard the rumours, but I think you know what I'm like. It's a load of nonsense. It's never going to happen. Jonathan David, I've been touting that one for ages, right? Saying we should be signing him, but it won't. But it just goes to show that
it happens. It'd be like a dream.
Man, honestly, it'd be like a big wet dream, mate, if we get Jonathan David. Until it happens, but at least it goes to show that we're going out there, right? He's going out there and he's looking at these players, because why on earth? But then I did have a bit of a joke with one of my friends about this. I said he's probably gone out there and we'll probably end up with a little player, probably going to be one of their reserves or someone on the bench that no one's ever heard of before.
Republic of Ireland losing 1-0 at home to Bulgaria at half time. It's not a good sign, is it? Not a good sign. I wonder how he's played.
Well, at least he's getting minutes. At least he's getting minutes.
Darting runs, intelligent runs. Yeah, he's getting minutes. Yeah, that's important. It's important he gets minutes because he ain't getting minutes with us. Caduce is a great player who will shine and be consistently better in a better team. Of course he will. I don't think it ain't like he done it for one or two games. He done it for almost the whole season, didn't he? The guy was electric. So, oh, sorry, put it up again. Go on.
It's just the question. It's the question that we all have.
Drink them monsters the night time, Gary. Well, I'm not going to bed yet. Go to bed in a couple of hours. Or something, you know what I mean?
Gary goes to bed typically around. He's a bit like me. We're like night owls. We go to midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's me every night. It's ridiculous. Awful.
So this is where the tour is. That's better. New Jersey, Chicago, Atlanta is not as bad as, you know, peat bogs down in Florida. And that time of year in Florida is bloody madness because it's known for its storms, right? New York, you know, New Jersey, Chicago will just be bloody hot and dry. And Atlanta, I think that's just down. Atlanta, trying to picture where that is. Yeah, I think it's just down a little bit down below, isn't it? So I think it's above. Well, look, it's above Florida anyway, right? So you know, Florida's got some really dodgy weather. You can be out in Florida in like the theme parks. It can be a bright sunny day, 90 degrees, getting sunburnt, and then all of a sudden it's monsoon season and it's a thunderstorm breaking out. You know, you have to have an app over there because they track the weather to within the millisecond, and you know when the lightning's arriving and when the thunderstorm's arriving. It arrives bang on time, synchronized with the app. It's quite impressive. AWB, look at this. Oh, and that'll be as well, New Jersey, Chicago, Atlanta, that'll be in probably baseball stadiums, right? So there'll be decent facilities, I would imagine, unless they're playing in soccer stadiums. You know,
do you know, Fred has already mentioned he wants to go out there. That's not happening. I'm not doing that.
I'll tell you what, though, Chicago's my favourite city. Used to go there a lot. It's my favourite city. Been to New York a lot. Chicago's better. Sorry.
Can you go out there? You're going to go out there for pre-season?
I wouldn't mind going to Chicago. I ain't been there for a while now. Last time I did it, right? Last time I went to Chicago with some work colleagues, I did karaoke to a pianist.
Oh, God, here we go again. You and your fucking karaoke.
Karaoke to a pianist, Chris. It was beautiful. It was group karaoke as well. Karaoke. Right. Sat down, group karaoke. AWB, 2 goals, 2 assists. Judas is 3 goals, 1 assist. Caduce, you mean, not Judas.
I was going to say, who's Judas? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? I'm thinking, Paul Ince, what's he still playing?
Wolves are part of the summer tournament. Oh, not again, for Christ's sake. Are they? No, they can't be. They can't be. They'd be down in Florida again, wouldn't they? They'd be
I
down in
can't remember
Florida,
the teams. I know it's. I know
that
Man
was a
United.
proper low rent tournament, wasn't it? It was Palace, Wolves, us, and who was the other one? Was that it? Wasn't it?
Was it United? I can't
Oh,
remember.
what a terrible tournament!
Now.
Who we playing? Who we playing in New York, Chicago, Atlanta? I'm tempted by the Chicago thing.
Oh,
I might
mate,
go out
honestly.
there.
Because if Fred's watching this, if we go, let's go out there as well. Let's go out there as well.
I might make it a romantic trip. Come at least we're going to the States. There's three.
Oh, wait a minute! Tour. What a coincidence! West Ham are here as well.
What a stroke! What a stroke of luck! Brilliant. I wonder if you get points for those tickets.
Got to be joking at you, mate. You won't get a
I wonder
point for that. No, you
and
won't.
You
not
would.
Not in a million years, mate. You're not getting points for a pre-season friendly out in the States.
Should we go Bobby Moore stand on tour? Should we do that?
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Oh God, Katrina is on it tonight of her stats.
Right.
Jesus.
So
what's she saying?
Hold on. We had the teams. We had the team.
Oh, so what?
Do you know Bowen and Souček have scored 7 goals this season, but Bowen has more assists?
The stats all over the shop.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but that's a lot of goals, isn't it? 7.
It is. Of course,
for Souček.
Yeah, he has a knack of being in the right place at the right time, doesn't he?
So it's a pre-season against Man U, Bournemouth, Everton and West Ham. Oh, so it's a decent tournament. That's a decent quality 4-team tournament, which I quite like the sound of that. That's even more reason to go, Chris. I'm warming to the idea. But I wouldn't want to fly around the States at the moment. Firing all the people who look after the air traffic control, aren't
they? Yeah, no, I'm not going.
Like a dart into a dartboard. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So Sam, we bought him for 35 million. Yeah. Of course. Kudos. Has the most successful dribbles this season also by a country mile. Doku is second at the moment. It's just his shoot, but his shooting boots are missing. Yeah, they are. That is really what's missing with him. So let's go down to the bottom again. Sorry, people. Sorry. Let's. How long have we been going, Chris? Just over an hour. We're stopping.
Yeah.
Right now I can actually catch up with it. Right. So the other thing to talk about, one more thing to talk about, is Lucas Paqueta. Who is no doubt is appearing at the tribunal, I think, this coming week. I watched Gio's update the other day, which was interesting, about this potential. Well, once again, the David Moyes, he's going to appear at the tribunal and hopefully confirm the story that Lucas Paqueta asked to not play in that famous game against Bournemouth, where he apparently appeared. That's the one where it looks really fishy, right? Where it appeared. You know, what he was saying was he didn't want to play. Moyes said, if we're winning the game comfortably, we'll take you off. And then we were winning 1-0. And towards the end of the game, he's gesticulating to the bench, take me off, because his move to City was done and dusted, right? It was done and dusted. He didn't want to play anymore. He didn't want to risk injury, I guess, right? He wanted to get his dream move. And that was used against him. So it could have, very well, and we said this around the time of this all coming up in the first place, right? That sort of booking is not strange for Paqueta. Lucas. It's not very it's not strange for him to get booked for fouling someone, right? It is kind of fishy to see him go and almost, try and handle it. He doesn't do that very often, does he? But if the mitigation is that he tried to not play in that game, what does that tell you? It kind of tells you that maybe he wasn't involved in this. Or there's a conspiracy theory that says maybe he didn't want to play because he didn't want to be involved in it, right?
But the thing is, though, Gal, that's one game. What about the other ones where he's got yellow cards? Well, that's the thing, because it's one game. And also, if you look at the amount, how big these bets were, or should I say how small these bets were, like, £7, £40, £50, whatever it is, the equivalent of, for him to just do that in one game, don't worry, Uncle Bruno and all of his pals, whatever, they're going to make more money from the other games anyway. So it doesn't, I don't know whether that holds much weight. I don't know,
No, and just because it's a family member, so what? Right? So what? I mean, I know the player is betting on his Paqueta, and his name was Paqueta as well. I assume Bruno's surname. Oh no, it's not. Yeah,
it's the island, isn't it? Yeah,
it's the island, Paqueta Island, in it. But whatever his 15-foot long real Brazilian name is, I'm sure he shares that surname with Bruno. I guess. Far too complicated to pronounce. I can't even do Paqueta. So yeah, that was look. What would happen if this case gets dropped through lack of evidence, and then suddenly 3 weeks later, because I assume they're going to do well. This would be the final cricket nuts by the FA if they fucking drag their feet on giving a decision, right? This is a 3 week hearing. Give a decision and move forward. If you find him not guilty, fantastic. We can all get on with our lives. If they find him guilty, he'll appeal. He'll still be able to continue to play because it will just go, and then it moves to another court, middle of Europe somewhere, eventually, where the required standard of proof is higher, right? So it's not going to matter really one way or another. He's going to carry on playing for us one way or another, but I wonder what Paqueta you're going to see if he suddenly has that weight lifted off his shoulders. I bet you're going to see the bastard return. In terms of when he's a bastard, he's at his best, right? That's when he's really enjoying it. He's playing with a smile on his face. He's got that little sort of mischievous look about him, right? That is Paqueta at his best. I think you might see the return of that one for the last 4 or 5 games of the season.
There's no doubt in my mind that this has impacted him this season in terms of his levels and his performances. But there have been occasions where he's played well, but by and large, based on the whole season so far, it must be impacting him. I mean, I follow him on social media, and obviously that he will put on a facade that he's okay and everything's fine, because obviously if he doesn't, it looks like he's guilty, right? So he's obviously doing that. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm so intrigued to see how that one plays out, mate. I really, really am. I
can only hope for the best, right?
I don't think he will be found guilty, Gal. I just don't think he will, mate. I can't.
If you listen to that narrative, unless they've got some actual evidence, yeah, like we were talking about text messages on phones and stuff like that. It don't sound like they've got it. Don't sound like they've got
because
that
they're faffing around. They're faffing around, like trying to get a mobile phone back, and it's not the same phone, and this, that, and the other. All this nonsense going on. I mean, There's also the question that says, well, wait a minute, why would he even be doing it from his phone anyway? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be his missus that's doing it. I mean, who knows? It's just all I think is there's not enough evidence really to. I just don't think there is, because if there was, I think this would have been sorted out a lot sooner.
I think. As well, when I was speaking with John about this, about the the briefs who'll be hired by the FA to sit on the tribunal. I think there's 3 of them. They're going to be hired, and they will. I was a bit worried about they might just side with the FA, and I think that it depends. Is it the regular lawyers that they use? Do they work all the business for them? In which case they might have a little bit of a bias or a vested interest to see things a certain way, to read things a certain way. Not suggesting they're crooked in any way, shape, or form, right? Alternatively, are they going to be, as John says, completely independent and base everything on the actual evidence and try to come to a sound judgment, right? But that is what John would say, right? So, and I think I hope they will, and I hope there is a distinct lack of evidence, and the story that is basically, it's backed up by Moyes, who has, like it or not, a very, very good reputation, a solid reputation in football. If he says something like that, then I think you can assume it was true. The FA will assume it's true. The tribunal will assume it's true. And so you'd need some hard evidence to go against that, surely.
It's one game, though. As I said before, it's one game that we're referring to there, where he wanted to come off against Bournemouth. What about
but that was the only one. But that was the only one, Chris, where it looked fishy. The rest of them were just like normal Paqueta tackles, right?
That's true.
It just looked, that is the one that looked dodgy.
Yeah.
So, if Potter, if Potter doesn't play Alvarez against Wolves on April the 1st, you're what? You're what, Jason?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do, Jason? He's going to say Potter out. That's what he's going to say, Potter out. I think just let him pick who he wants to bloody pick. I've got my own preferences. I'd like to see Alvarez on the pitch. I think he's brilliant. But I think he picked that. He knew what kind of battle he was going to be up against Everton, which is why he picked the likes of, what's his name, left back, Emerson. It was going to be a real grown-up battle, a physical battle, and I think that's why he played the team he played. And I think maybe with Alvarez, he would have got a little bit. Don't forget, there was history between Moyes and Alvarez. And you don't know.
Didn't look like it before the game, mate. They were hugging it out. They were
hugging.
They were hugging it out. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
so this is the thing.
Excellent.
You hear,
that's really good. So, yeah. So how much of that was true? How much of that was true?
Exactly. Yeah. You never know, do you? You never know. I mean, it may have been true. I don't know, but
I won't tell you any source. Yeah.
It was Alvarez. He was the source. Yeah.
Yeah. It worries me a bit that we're talking about offering big cash to David, but no other big club seems to be rushing in to get him. I think there would be plenty of takers for him. To be honest, he's a fucking good player. He's a bloody good player, and he would be so perfect as a.
We just like putting it out there. We just like putting it out there. We just like putting it out there for no other reasons but to try and sell season tickets. In my opinion, we always do it every single year. Linkhouse sells some big players. Everyone's getting excited, and then suddenly we don't get him. We get some other fucking.
Listen, I bought it, and I went and bought my tickets off the back of that. I did.
Yeah. You bought yours off the back of Angel Gomez and David being in the starting 11. Didn't you?
I've had my David shirt printed already. You know.
Yeah.
I've had it shirt. Yeah.
Did you get that with the season ticket? Yeah, on the same day.
With the season ticket.
Yeah.
I couldn't get. Oh God, we'll be like fourth choice for Jonathan David. Not David.
Quite possibly, yeah. Edgar Davids.
Yeah.
No, quite possibly. I mean, there will be other clubs, and I suppose the thing that I've spoken to you about it before is, as much as I love West Ham, why would he join West Ham when he's playing Champions League football right now? He's on a free. He can go to another team that's playing in Europe, and I'm sure there's going to be other takers out there who will want him and start him. I'm sure there will be.
We have the answer to the mystery that everybody's been hanging on the edge of their seats to answer, and that is from Jason. What would he do if he didn't pick Alvarez? We have that answer right here. He'd be very angry.
I know. I'm worried about what's happened to Jake.
You're entitled to be angry, but let it pass. Anger just gives you high blood pressure. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Right?
I've had too much anger West Ham over the years. I can't do it to myself anymore.
Chill out. I don't know how the football makes anyone angry at the moment. This season's done to me. I'm just trying to get whatever little thing. I love going to football. Right. Next year, by the way, this season ticket I just bought. This will be my 50th year going to games. Big 5-0. It's like a birthday, but not as important.
Man, you can see the effect it's had on you, mate.
Yeah, I know. deluded. It seems to be offending most players by lowballing. Yeah, I know. Fucking 50p in a Mars bar.
That'll never change as long as Sully's in.
Sorry, make that half a Mars bar. 100th choice. No, don't play us down, Mark. We're fourth, maybe third. Don't forget, London, Premier League. There ain't too many clubs. You look above us, right? Would you rather go, if you're getting paid like the same money, would you go to Villa? Would you go to West Ham? My personal choice is, if you're coming from another country, you're going to go London every time, right? Would you go Everton? Would you go West Ham? You go West Ham, yeah.
Yeah, but
would you go Chelsea? Would you go West Ham? You go Chelsea. Would you go Man United? You go Man United. Liverpool, right? There's only a handful of teams. And I doubt 3 of them are going to be interested in David, right? Because it is Dave, and Jonathan Dave, because he's an English speaker, isn't he? Nice. Started going when he was 20. Yeah, fuck you, Roger. Cheers, Chris. Thanks for putting that up.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know what he was talking about. Oh, the season ticket, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite compelling. I think it's a good narrative. I think, and I think it's I think this one here, it talks about. I didn't see Gonzo's one. I just saw Gio's one, but FA have nothing unless he admits guilt. Well, in which case, if that happens, then West Ham need to sue for damages because they have to, right? There was 85 million that we've lost out on for Paqueta. He's got no market value at the moment with this hanging over his head. Will he ever appreciate that 85 million valuation again? Probably not in his career.
Look at the impact it's had on our season, Gal. Look at we've had half the player. Do you know what I mean? All of this crap. I mean, surely. I mean, I think we could have been going for Champions League, mate, if we had an informed Paqueta. That's how we should play.
If this has been dragged out on the basis of no fucking evidence, someone's got to ask questions. I mean, you need probably a governing body to look at the FA, wouldn't you, Karen? Hey, I'm just saying. I do think if Paqueta is found innocent, I do wonder if we're going to sue the FA. Yeah, we will. Well, I think it'll be, I think it'll be more than 80 million because 80 million, 85 million was the transfer fee, but there's been a definite impact on performance, like Chris just said. Right, definitely. We haven't, the team has struggled because he has struggled. He's a playmaker. we have not seen the same Paqueta, which is why I'm excited. If he gets fucking let off, I'm going to be rushing along to that next game to see how he reacts, because he's going to be like born again Lucas. I'm telling you now. Yeah. So what else we got? I think that's it for the agenda, isn't it, Chris? I think that's it.
Mate,
It was a hidden agenda, but I went public with it. Paqueta has a round. It's a good stat. Andy Arnott. He's trying to compete with for the stats person. Paqueta has 55 yellow cards over 300 games. Yeah, one card in 6 pretty much. And Gilmares has 55 cards over. Don't tell me there's been 55 bets on.
Mate, they're good buddies as well. I think they're best buds, aren't they? Gilmares and Paqueta.
But you remember back, right, when he was at his most bloody minded, Paqueta. Do you remember that Luton away game, I think early last season? This was before this all kicked off. Him and Alvarez loved that game because they just loved the tussle. They loved the physical side, absolutely adore it. They had smiles all over their faces playing in that little tiny ground, being kicked up in the air by, players who shouldn't really be in their company, They adored it. It was like being back on the beaches in the back streets of the, wherever he come from. Paqueta Island, yeah? You're more likely to follow a player from your local area, so more likely to have a bet on him. Yeah. Or someone like your nephew. I bet he gets booked today. Fucker, never stops chopping people in half. Definitely going to get booked. If that's all they've got, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves to drag it out like this. You cannot drag this on all through all these slurs, they've literally dragged his name through the mud and pretty much called him guilty. They've been saying they're going to take his career away from him. They're going to ban him for 20 years for life and everything else. All this shit has been fed to the press. If they had no evidence, I was a bit suspicious at the time because it was our bloody club sponsors who decided to leak all this. It never should have been leaked, right? By the FA or by SBO Bet.
Well, I'll tell you what, right? It was not SBO Bet. It was a Betway. I'll tell you, Betway. So, will City come in for him? I'll tell you something, right? If the case is lifted and Paqueta ends up moving to City or another team, I will be fucking furious. Honestly, I will be. He owes it to West Ham to stay because we've stuck by him. Do you know what I mean? I would be so disappointed.
Don't have that anger yet, Chris, because it hasn't happened. You can't get angry about a hypothetical future situation.
I can.
That may or may not happen, Chris.
I can. I am.
You can't. It's just unacceptable. Come on. We have higher standards on this show, Chris.
No, hold up a minute. You talk about hypothetical scenarios. Hold up. No. Let me just say this. If he starts next season and go on, carry on. Hypothetical scenarios. You and fucking Guilherme. That's a massive hypothetical scenario.
No.
Predictions of him being
that's just me spotting talent, being laser focused. Right, laser focused. I saw what I saw in the Chelsea game and I was impressed. Let me tell you.
From that 2-minute cameo, whatever it was.
Wouldn't it be nice to see Paqueta dancing again?
Yeah,
just after he's slotted a penalty away, he's laughing, just runs and dances in front of the opposition fans. They love it. I didn't realise how much that wound people up until he scored that own penalty against Chelsea. And I watched the angry fan reactions afterwards. And when he scored, the Chelsea fan going, "All right, fuck it had to be him, didn't it? Fuck it had to be him," as he's dancing.
Because I would be frustrated if I see a player dancing in front of me and just scored against us. I'm going to be like, "You wanker!" Like I'm not going to be happy about it. So I can see why that would rile people up.
That's what Paqueta wants, though. He wants to be called away.
Yeah, I know. I love that. But if you see someone doing that in front of you, no.
Yeah, I think they will do, Darren. I don't think there's any doubt about that at all. The payments from his dad. It wasn't his dad, was it?
No, I thought it was his uncle.
Bruno. It was his uncle Bruno, wasn't it? Wasn't his dad?
Bruno, yeah.
Yeah, it weren't Daddy Paqueta.
Just a complete switch of subject there for a second, right? We were talking earlier on about the fact that we are very much a defensive-minded team at the moment, playing, essentially 5 at the back when we are out of possession. In possession, typically we play, the wing-backs 3 at the back, right? Do you think when we play against Wolves next weekend that we should be looking to play a flat back 4 so we can go more attacking? What's your thoughts on that? I know we'll do a pre-match review and all that kind of stuff, but just real quickly, I'm interested also to see what the chat is saying on this, because I've been thinking about this and I'm thinking, am I happy for us to kind of sit back tight, defend the whatever it is, try and hit them on the counter attack with what we've got, or shall we kind of switch it up a little bit and play 4?
I think it depends. I think it depends, Chris. I think if full crew's back, then I will expect a more attacking formation. I will expect him to start because I'm sick of having like standing strikers, right? If we've got a striker, play the bloody striker,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
That's the only bit that annoys me a little bit. Can I just say, this one here, who's he replacing at City? Well, this is in the past. I mean, I don't know who's replaced at City now, but that opportunity's gone. I don't know who was replacing, but that team went on to win. Like, was that the treble winning team or the double winning team? I mean,
Might be, I think it was.
you know, he missed out on that.
Oh, I don't care what he missed out on. It's more what we missed out on.
No,
We've
but
got a
he
second
could
half.
also sue the FA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that don't really
because he
bother
would
me
have
about
had
what he could have
massive
won.
loss of earnings, Chris. How much do you reckon his salary was going to be? He probably already had it agreed.
I don't care, Gal. I've got to be honest. This is a bit like Bullseye back in the day. Like, here's what you could have won. I can give a toss what he could have won at City. I'm more concerned about what half the Paqueta we've had this season.
I don't care what he would have won either. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying he could sue the FA for loss of earnings because from then to now he would have been on about 350 grand a week. He's had a struggle by on 150 grand a week. Can you imagine that, Chris?
Mate, I don't even know how he would. Honestly, mate, I wouldn't even get out of bed in the morning for 150 grand a week. I mean, seriously, I don't know how he managed it.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, imagine that. Imagine it. We get 80 million and a better player in return for Paqueta. Yeah. I don't think. Well, look, the way Paqueta's played in the last couple of seasons, there have been the odd games where he's been good, but it's literally fingers on one hand, right? And the same goes for Kudus this year. If we sell him, we ain't going to miss him. We might as well go down another route. He's done all right, better under Potter, but he's really not been the same Kudus. So we ain't going to really miss him, are we? But I would like to think he'll stay another season and come good again. Wouldn't that be brilliant? I do agree with you though that Paqueta should stay another season with us and put it in. Really put it in. Going to European Champion to relegation candidates in a short period should be worth a fair amount of compensation. Yes, indeed, it should. Indeed, 350 grand a week times what, 52 weeks in a year, probably a year and a half. It's a lot of cash. Do the P times Q. It's right. I hope he gets found not guilty and takes Premier League to cleans. Yes, he will. I'm getting out of touch again, aren't I? Right, I'm going to do a few more comments, then we're going to go. Right, sabotage by Betway, yes. Well, no, they stopped. We called them off as our sponsors after they did that, to be honest. I wanted to call it off the same day. I thought, that is just unacceptable. It weren't unacceptable that they called it out because they've got compliance obligations and stuff like that. And you see a bit of, but I just had this picture in my head of some little geezer in a dusty little office down in, the compliance manager, sucking on a fag in the back streets of Brazil, realising that he's got massive exposure for losses about to come up, and he's scrambling through trying to find a betting pattern to get himself out of Stuck. Because it was the local Brazilian branch of Betway, which is not a big branch. I did look into their finances once. It's a very, very small, revenue-wise, very, very small operation. It would have hurt them. Yeah. They run as kind of, they're quite autonomous, those little pieces. What else we got? Yes, hit the like button, please. Please hit the like button. And if you would be so kind, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this here channel, the Bobby Moore Stand. The best stand in London Stadium, even though none of the stands are very good. It was the best stand in the last ground as well, Upton Park. The best ground, the better ground. Right, God, but the channel, the channel that bears its name, please subscribe to us, hit the like, and hit a bell notification icon. Go on, you want to.
Hey, hold up. Ferguson just scored. He scored.
No.
He scored a goal. Yeah.
One of our strikers has scored a goal.
Yes.
It ain't for us.
Scored a goal. Ferguson just scored.
Oh, bloody hell. Typical. That's like an own goal.
Yeah, that's nice. It's good.
Yes. This. If I remember rightly, Pac-Man was going to City and we were going to... If that can be proven... West Ham are going to go after the FA to the tune of 300 million. Paqueta's going to want his wages back and a compensation for the trophies. They might as well shut down the operation because this lawsuit's going to be so big.
Oh, it's huge, mate. I mean, you think about what could have been, honestly.
Yeah.
City would have, Paqueta have all of the trophies, West Ham in the Champions League. I mean, with Cole Palmer. I mean, just...
I know. Sorry. Is anyone else not happy with Potterball or Pottery, as I call it? Apart from the Villa Cup game, it's not been good. Oh, come on. Did you watch the Arsenal game?
We've been talking about this. We
The
were talking about this
Fulham game?
earlier.
The Leicester game, which wasn't entertaining, but it was a walk in the park and we won. The Villa game away, the one that we nearly won just now against Everton. I mean, Gary, you bear my name. Not all of it, but some of it. You know, you're part of the Gary community. I expect more from members of the Gary community, Gary. You know, it's just.
I don't like all of this Potterball, Moyes ball. I don't like all that. It really annoys me. Like, I don't know. You call
pottery,
it pottery. I think
pottery.
Nah. What was it that Johnny said on the vlog about why you call it pottery? It's like you've got this idea of the movie Ghost, where they've got like, I think you said an old woman with a West Ham tattoo, like, you know, making a nice. That's what's on your mind, honestly.
Yeah. It's all a massive conspiracy. It is, Jason, wrapped up inside an enigma, as someone once said. Me. I just said it. What I was saying, Kent, we could have had him. And that's why Chelsea signed Palmer for 45 million. Hence,
yeah, but no, we had another option to sign him as well, though, and we declined it flat, and that was under Moyes.
No, but hang on, though. You've got to look at Palmer's current value. Not saying, because he's a fucking good player. Arguably, we were getting a better player in Palmer. Imagine that as a part exchange.
We passed up the opportunity to sign Palmer, Gal. We did. We passed up the opportunity.
No. From memory, wasn't it? It weren't guaranteed first team football.
Yes, that's correct.
How could we not guarantee him first team football, Chris?
Because
listen, right, it's not sales. I'm not saying you should do this as sales because I work in sales, but if you want to make a sale to someone, you want to convince them, you've got to do what old Steiten did. Sell them the dream.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to play, son, every week. First name on the team sheet, Mr. Palmer.
That's
Can I call you Mr. Palmer?
That's how I sell the dream, mate, every day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a way to do sales, by the way. I disagree. Potter has made such a difference in our game. Exactly. Gary needs to go back and look at those games and come back and represent the Gary community properly. All right. So we were offered Palmer, didn't want to pay the wage.
Oh, is that? I don't know. I don't really know.
And we'll end with one. Obsidian, which is how I heard it. Moyes wouldn't play Palmer. No, he wouldn't. First of all, he wouldn't promise him game time because that would be... He don't be lying. Who wants a lie? Who wants a lie? But I'm past my having to go at David Moyes stage, so I'm over it. I'm over it.
Danny, Katrina wants to know what the wage was as well. You got the wage? Got the details, Dan?
He's got a draft of the contract, hasn't he? He's got the facts. And I think it's fair to say West Ham should focus. It should sue the FA for £300 beautiful million to get those lost Premier League trophies. Yes, reinstigated.
Well,
we should get those Premier League titles back. Yes,
you can be sure that if there is an angle, if there's a way that David Sullivan can try and make a few quid out of this, he will do that. So that's the one thing you can be rest assured about.
Chris, if they've done what people are saying they've done, which is take us round this merry dance and use the press to batter his reputation and have no fucking evidence to go after him, no hard evidence, they deserve everything they get. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Even if it's lining the pockets of that,
we deserve everything we get when we build that championship winning side under.
You can imagine we see the FA for 300 million. We won't see a penny of that anyway in our transfer kitty.
Palmer without selling Paqueta, so he went to Chelsea. I thought, someone said just now, alluded to the fact that it might have been a Part X deal, 80 million plus Palmer. Imagine that.
I'm sure there was a situation where he could have come to us on loan as well. I'm sure there was that.
I'm pretty certain Souček goes to Everton in the summer. Pretty certain, right? Because especially if he wants a captaincy, Moyes will probably give it to him, won't he? Moyes would have to leave out to accommodate. No, it's right. That's right. But the thing is, if you're going to convince a young player to come play for your club, you've got to tell them they're getting game time, right? And you've got to tell them how they're going to get game time, when they're going to get it. You sometimes got to overpromise because you want to encourage them, you want to build them up, you want them to be excited to come to your club, not reluctant. And when they hit the ground bouncing in training and they're flying all over the place, then you've got a player on your hands, haven't you? If
Yeah,
you've
but
already tried to destroy their spirit before they're even thinking of joining, what's the fucking point?
But I don't think necessarily
But
guaranteeing a player playing time is the right thing. I think what you should be doing is saying you're guaranteeing them playing time if they are basically showing what they can do on the training pitch. That's
let me
really what it should come down to.
Let me qualify what I just said, because it turns out that Alvarez shit that I was saying last season was nonsense. So that could be nonsense as well, right? So I'll take back everything I said in the past, Gary.
Everything, yeah.
But you are entertained with pottery. Yes, no.
Don't be using that term. Don't be using that pottery.
Not entertained, Gary. Not entertained. Don't get me wrong. I'm satisfied, right? My expectation, my bar this season is not entertainment. It was, what I said was, I hope we could get a little bit of respect. And what was the word, Chris? I wanted us to compete again. And stop getting fucking stuffed 4-0, 5-0, 3-0, fucking, embarrassing, open the Red Sea defending. And we have. That's what we've done. That's what I wanted.
I think the bar for entertainment has gone down massively for a lot of us.
But Arsenal was entertaining. I loved Arsenal. It's my best day out for quite some time, Arsenal. I was very, very drunk. Very drunk.
Up in the lounge
trying
again.
to polish the turd. The Moyes and Sully. Yeah, Moyes, Loppy and Sully. Yeah. And again, a lot of the Moyes team had kind of left the building. It was the Loppy and Streiten era.
Can you imagine, right, Gal? It is a scenario for you for a second, right? Let's say, for instance, we never got Lopetegui at the start of the season. We got Potter. How we may have spent that money differently, and what that would have meant for this season. How we would have, how this season could have kind of transpired.
You know what, Chris? I think it was always going to be a 2-season job rebuilding this team, maybe even 3 seasons. That's how bad the damage was. Yeah. With the team that was left behind, it was fucking useless. It was running on fumes, wasn't it? I mean, with a few exceptions, a few notable exceptions, but
we fucked up the window, Gal. We fucked up the window, though.
Well,
everyone was saying we won it. Everyone was saying we won it at the time.
Yeah.
But if you look back in hindsight, we didn't, because a lot of those players ended up being disasters for us for whatever reason, for injury reasons.
Moved on to a can of Red Thunder now. Look.
What is that? Honestly, what is that shit?
It's from Audi, low sugar.
Honestly, mate, you must be sat on that toilet constantly, mate, drinking all that shit. Goes straight through you, doesn't it?
Must admit, I do need a poo after this. True. Sully would bin 300 million. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm fine. No massive losses with pack betting. Gonzo was saying the average bet was between £5 and £7. I think. Okay, but that's the local currency, right? What's it worth in our terms?
Yeah, and also, Neil, you wouldn't have been able to buy a pint without at the London Stadium. Just putting that out there.
No, that's half a pint if you're lucky at London Stadium. More like crookery. No, your crookery, as in the fitness of the squad. Yes. Good point, Trudge. Do we need to be entertained? Listen. Can I just be completely honest with you for a minute? I always am, but I'm going to be particularly honest now. Over the years, my 50 years next season of going to watch West Ham, going to games, apart from a little period where I seriously lost interest, and once or twice I spent the game talking to someone next to me and not watching what was going on the pitch. That's how bad it was. That was last season. It started to happen again this season with Lopetegui because it was just too painful for words. That aside, it's never been a prerequisite of mine to have beautiful, open, entertaining football. I love it when it happens. And Kirbishley bored me. Macari bored me at times. Sam Allardyce bored me at times. There's so many managers. Even Pardew was a bit dull at times. But fucking hell, we didn't have to pull it apart. Even Redknapp sometimes was a bit boring. Not very often, I've got to say. But there are certain times. You remember that home game against Leeds where they turned up with Rio and fucking battered us, and Ian Wright smashed up the dressing room and all that. The times we were crap.
Yeah.
It ain't all been. You don't look back at the Harry Redknapp era and say that was without fault, because those poor away fans that followed that team on the road getting stuffed every week, right? We were good at home, crap on the road. So it's always there's a bit of nuance there, right? It's not black or white. It's not good or shit. You don't just because you lose a game, it don't mean you're shit. If you win a game, it don't mean you're brilliant. You're somewhere in the middle, right?
I think Gary's hit the nail, though. But to be fair, I think it's just about giving everything, right? So entertainment or none. I think at the end of the day, as long as the players are giving it their all and working their bollocks off, then we can accept that as fans, right? But if we don't see it, if we see anything less than that, that's when it becomes a real problem for me, and that's when I would moan. If players aren't pulling their weight, I don't like that. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Well said, Gary. So this one here is a grand in Brazilian terms, or in million pounds. It could be. Obsidian Cuts. Is it? Potter is used to working as a coach. He may have to. He may have left it all to Tim. What Potter is used to working as a coach. He may have left it all to Tim.
No, he's saying the hypothetical scenario of if Potter was manager at the start of the season, how that transfer window would have gone. I think that's what he's
right. Yeah, maybe, but I think he weren't keeping Tim around for very long. I think he was very instrumental. Well, I don't think Sullivan needed any help, to be honest, but I think he was pretty sure that Tim was on his way when he arrived. But having said that, that was with Tim's stock massively low. His stock was a lot higher, wasn't it? A little while ago.
It was,
beginning of the season and over the summer.
He didn't get injured, did he?
Ferguson off.
Yeah.
Off.
No, sub, not staying off.
Oh.
Sub.
How long did he play? How long did he play for?
Well, it depends. I mean, if he's just come off now, presumably he must have played for, I would say, at least about 3/4 of the game, surely. It's 9:30 now, isn't it, Lily?
Yeah. But again, I'll just recount the wise words of Katrina Chambers here, which is she's very accurate in a lot of what she says tonight. Always is. Right. Do we need to be entertained every game? No, that's what I'm saying. We certainly haven't been entertained every game by any manager. It's absolutely true. There's not a single fucking manager. I mean, you remember when it started to go. I mean, there were periods under Lyle even where it was, sometimes it was fantastic, but sometimes it wasn't. But we just went home and came to the next game, right? Because there was no social media.
Can I just ask something? Actually, Katrina, is this the Katrina that's been messaging me on TikTok? And I think it's you and your son that go to games. I think it was. I'm interested to know if that's the same person.
Whenever I hear Katrina, right? Because I used to know
Katrina the Waves.
Katrina, and it's Catriona. It's another version of Katrina. Katrina.
Really? Never heard of that.
You say it like that, Katrina. Potter is used to working. Yes. We've done that bit already. Right, a couple more comments and we go. Right, okay. So we've got. I said that 5 times already. Has Tim gone Palace? Has he? Has he gone to work with?
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that as a possibility. I don't know if he's actually gone though. I don't know if he's actually gone.
Wonder if he'll try to sign Guillaume.
You're going to follow Palace if he does.
It confuses me with Guillaume because there was something I read the other day off News Now that Chelsea were interested in Guillaume, and I was thinking that would be fucking typical, wouldn't it? They signed him. It turned out to be Player of the Year in about 3 years' time. We got 18 million for him. We got 15 million for him over 5 years.
I'll tell you what, mate. I really want him to work
74 minutes.
I really want him to work out, Guillaume, but I will say one thing. If he doesn't work out and he turns up to be like a Savio player, you and I are going to have this conversation many, many times based on what you said.
So this is a problem as well, right? Man City fans aren't feeling entertained this season because they feel that they, for some reason, and again, I'm trying to get inside my head to think, why did I think I had the right to demand entertainment when I never, before that, demanded entertainment? But last season I did demand entertainment. And this season, I got a bit bored. In the past, just would have got bored, go home, not worry about it. Suddenly, I started making a point out of it. I'm very bored. Other people weren't bored. I was very bored. But I don't think me being bored should really be a narrative that pushes the club to change the manager. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it should do. I mean, you have that power, Gal. I mean, ultimately, if they're not happy that you're not happy, then I think.
But this is what I'm saying. My opinion is really irrelevant, isn't it? And I think we're all just fans. We're all just fans.
We are. And we all have opinions. We all have opinions, and we're entitled to different opinions.
I have done a lot of soul searching over this, as you can tell.
How's this? Ferguson has just scored. I thought he'd just been subbed. He's just scored again. What? He's come back? Oh, hello.
He scored from the bench. He scored from the tunnel.
That's how good he is. That's how good he is. Yeah.
Overhead kick in the tunnel. Oh, there you go. TikTok.
Oh, yeah, TikTok. Yeah, hello to your son as well, in that case, Kat. Yeah, I thought it might have been you.
You can buy a 2-bed semi in Brazil on Paqueta Island for £7. I'm sure that isn't true because I'm going to buy 10. I'm going to buy 70 quid.
Can you imagine if that's true? Jeez.
Yeah, 70 quid. Bosh. Bring it on. Just next to the Copacabana.
7 quid.
Does anyone know what's going on with Glur, mate? No.
Gary, you are his biggest fan.
Dark. That's all I can say. That's all I can say.
There he is.
Ferguson's
There he is.
just
There
got.
he is. Just down there.
Just tell me, Leo. Tell me, has he scored again? Has he? Has he scored again?
He's got a hat-trick now. He's scored 2 in the last 2 since he's come off. He's scored the brace.
Yes, he scored from the subs bench. It's been confirmed.
It's pretty impressive.
Yes. Right. That's it. But this is the thing, right? You know, it is true. It's a serious point I'm making because up until last season, I never really demanded to be entertained, and suddenly I found myself demanding to be entertained, right? And now I'm just back to where I once was. I'm not really demanding. I haven't got this like minimum entry level requirement of fucking entertaining football because it ain't a TV show to me. I go and watch it, right? But even when I'm watching it on telly, like the Everton game, I still enjoy it. I still enjoy it because I like football. I like football, right? It ain't an entertainment show to me. It's a sport.
I get it. I do understand what you're saying, Gal. But for me, I don't expect much. I don't expect huge amounts, right? But I do want some level of entertainment, and I do want to get off my seat. I mean, I stand up anyway for the whole game, but I do want to, kind of, I don't know, see a little bit of excitement. I'm kind of craving it, Gal. I'm craving it, but
Chris,
like I said, I'm okay for this season.
Chris, you give me a choice between an exciting game and a boring game. I'm going to pick the exciting game every time. That's for sure.
Yeah,
right?
of course. I mean, you'd be nuts if you didn't, mate. But I'm just saying I'm okay with accepting it for this season. But for next season, I want to see a little bit more. That's what I'm saying.
But I wonder how many disappointing home defeats. Even if I go back some stats to how long I've had a season ticket, the first day that the old Bobby Moore stand opened, right? How many? And I've been to most of the home games since then, and quite a few away games. So if I just count the home games, I've been to 98% of them, right? I used to go regardless of anything. Well, I wonder how many really shit games I've watched in that time and how disappointing it was, right? I bet there are plenty. I bet there's probably 30%.
Of course there are. Yeah, of course there are, mate. But this is the thing. I also think that for the fans that go to games like you and I, right? When we go to understand, it's a lot of effort, and it's fucking horrible going to that stadium. It is. So I think this is another reason why I think a lot of fans are so despondent, because you go there, the living horrible stadium, the atmosphere, I think it's a combination of all of that stuff makes you feel like shit. But when we used to go to Upton Park. But when we used to go to Upton Park, it was different because we actually used to enjoy walking to the ground and going to the pub and the atmosphere and being closer to the pitch, So I think there's a lot of reasons why you would feel unhappy going to West Ham.
The day out at Upton Park was better because we had the Black Lion, because we had Dog Shit Alley, because we had the old surroundings that we've been used to all of our lives and everything else. Yes, there was something. There is something in that. Yeah, there is something in it. I'm not, and now we have just got this kind of vapid, great big fucking stadium.
Look, context, right? You're out and fucking eating prawn sandwiches these days, right? I'm having sushi before the match. Since when did that become a football thing? Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Chris, don't allow yourself to have sushi before the match, because you know what the next step is? You're inside a box munching on a prawn sandwich, which is what you're going to be doing in a few weeks' time with Man U.
No, I'm not. Those occurrences happen very rarely, mate. It's not going to be a regular thing for me at all. It won't be.
Do you fancy coming to Liverpool in a box, Chris?
No, mate, I'm not going to Liverpool. I've got a torrid record at Liverpool. I can't do it anymore. I'm fucking 10-2 on aggregate.
Get pissed and leave 2 hours later and not get laughed at, right? It's a combination of a poor window for them, and they've up ages. I don't know.
Have you got box seats for that then, for the Liverpool game?
No, not yet. But
you're working on it.
I could have, yes. That's what Potter keeps him on the bench. He's lethal in that position. Yes, exactly. Yes, I'm talking about Ferguson. Look at the name of this person. Coco, talking and singing African grey parrot. We used to have an African grey parrot. Polly. It's a unique name for a parrot, I know. She was very good.
Yeah, the parrot called Polly.
Yeah, she was. I know. It didn't take long to think of the name, but she used to mimic really, really well. I mean, my mum used to shout something out, and she'd just replicate it. But my cousin Paul, his dad had a parrot called Peter, a much older African grey. Used to swear like a navvy when they got him, right. They had to stop that because he came from Covent Garden Market, where everyone swears. So after a while, we looked after him for 2 weeks or 3 weeks while I went to Florida. This fucking bird could replicate sounds like they were the same sound. So he'd hear a phone ring. He would literally replicate the phone ring, and you'd be picking up the phone, seeing who's there. That's how good it was.
Oh wow!
He'd hear a fire engine in the distance. It just like before you know it, he's doing that. It was so clever, so clever. Don't know how it works.
Mate, you need to get we need to get a load of parrots down at London Stadium, mate, to create a bit of an atmosphere. That's what we need.
We should get a parrot on the show, right?
We should
We do. We have one here. Look, Coco. Always annoys me when people contribute to chat without checking to see if others have already said exactly the same thing, normally twice or three times.
Hey, hold up, Coco. Someone said that just now. Did you check?
Be original, mate. Come on. Right. This is a good one. Go on. Answers in the chat. Exciting game and lose or boring game and win?
It depends how important the game is. I don't
No.
that.
Listen, just take a game. Take an average game. West Ham against Leicester. Exciting game and lose, or boring game and win, like we did the other week.
Can I not add something into it where it's a pointless game, where it's a nothing game, like that was?
Well, no. Like Leicester is important for them, but that's a good example, right? Because game we don't really care that much about, not that emotional. You can't use it against Spurs, can you, or something? Because
so
win
let
every
me
day of the
answer
week.
that question then, Gal. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the only reason I'm going to say this is because it's been so boring this season, and because there's nothing to play for this season. I'm basing it off this season alone. I'll take that exciting game, fucking 9-10, 10-9 game, whatever, against Leicester, and we lost it narrowly. I'll take that. I would absolutely take that rather than I would do because it doesn't. These are all pointless games for us now, Gal. They are. Yeah. I'm just basing it off of this season right now. Maybe I'm fucking wrong here, but that's my opinion. What do you reckon, Danny? Out of interest,
Mark, would you really want exciting and lose? What if it became a pattern of exciting and losing, like Spurs, like Pochettino?
That wasn't the question, Gal. We're talking about one game here. We're talking about one game, not every fucking game. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about one isolated game. We can say a crazy exciting game. We can narrowly lose it.
Broaden the scope, broaden the scope. Win, always win for me. Always win. Win. Don't care if it comes off someone else. Win.
It is for me as well, but I'm talking about this season right now, based off the fact that we've got nothing to play for.
This season don't count anymore. It's not really a season anymore, is it?
Exactly. So you would take a loss then, like a 10-9.
Can I imagine this? Our African Grey used to shout a penalty when the ball was on the halfway line. That's funny because that's what the Arsenal players do. Did they teach him? Did he teach him? Boring win, always points me prizes. Yeah, I'll take winning all the time.
But not this season. No, can I just? I want to clarify this. I'm talking about this season, Gary, not in general. Okay, I will always want West Ham to win above everything, but I'm just saying based off of the situation we're in right now.
What now?
Now. I will take
win. Win.
Oh, fuck.
Win. Climb that table. Get those millions.
We ain't climbing any table, Gal.
We are. We're getting to Europe.
No, we're not.
Yeah. If we win every week, we will. Even boringly. Yeah.
I'd never want West Ham to lose, but I just feel like I could deal with a game like that,
Get Elon Musk? No. Fuck Elon. No. Exciting win or lose.
Oh, God.
Exciting game and winning's an option. Well, yeah, of course it is. We'd all prefer that, right? It's just it's a dilemma that Danny put forth for your perusal. Yeah.
I would always take West Ham to win. I'm going to go back on what I said. I'd always take West Ham to win.
Was it Danny that put you forward? Because now he's saying depends. Was it Danny? Or was it someone else?
I think Danny asked the question, yeah.
He asked the question, and he's saying depends.
No, he didn't. John's saying Danny.
Oh, John's saying depends. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes. It's really tiny on this screen. I've got to sort this crap out. Sorry. I'll take shit-ass wins against Arsenal and Spuds.
Of course, without question. Yeah.
Listen, right, when it started, look, if we're playing against a really crap side, like a side that's just relegated, they're there for the taking, or they're going down, they're there for taking, they're letting in loads of goals every week, I'd expect us to win that handsomely. But then once you're 2 or 3-0 up, what's the point? You're just beating a team who are pretty crap. What are you proving? You're not going to be first on Match of the Day, are you? You're still going to be last.
Yeah, but I'd love to kind of watch Match of the Day one time where we've actually beaten a team like 6 or 7-0. When was the last time we beat a team by that type of scoreline? Like genuinely, when was it? Was it against?
It was that League Cup game. That League Cup. Oh, not in the Premier League. I can't remember doing it.
Premier League. What was that one? I think we beat Barnsley 6-0 once at Upton Park. Back in '95.
We tonked Ipswich at their place, didn't we? When Antonio scored about 4.
No, that was Norwich.
Was it Ipswich?
That was Norwich. Yeah. We beat them 4 or 5-0 that day, didn't we? Yeah. But I'm talking like a 6 or 7. I think the last time we done a team by 6 in the Premier League was, I think it was like Barnsley back in the 90s. I'm sure it was.
But you know, if I want to be entertained, I will buy some tickets to a show and go and see that, right? Because you're guaranteed entertainment every time. It's not, it's not going to be, subject to a bad VAR decision. It's just a definite performance every time. Football, I just like sport. I love sport, and football's my favourite sport, and West Ham my favourite football team. If the game is important, boring, and win, if not, 4-3 loss with 2 semis off, with 34 shots on goal. See, I've got some sympathy for that.
See, that's the type of game I'm talking about. But
Yeah,
maybe like a 10-9
game.
game.
Perhaps I'm a bit like that. Yeah, perhaps I'm a bit like that.
It's something to talk about, isn't it? All of those goals. Imagine all those goals, Gal. 9 goals, but we lost the game. I mean, something you'll never forget that.
Would you remember that Wimbledon game that we lost 4-3 at home after being 3-0 up at half time?
Yeah.
Well, I think Phil Whelans from Stop Hammer Time, he arrived at half time.
Jesus, that's what a time to do.
My grey sings bubbles whenever West Ham are mentioned in the house. Yeah, lovely. I'll tell you what, they get better as they get older as well. If we get a parrot, he must play on the wing. Boom. Right, enough of the dad jokes. There's still positional money up for grabs. Yes, there is, which is why, and your outside chance of Europe is still mathematically possible.
Oh, shut up. No. We're really not going down that road, are we?
God. Get Grok to do the match reviews. Fucking hell. Might be very good match. There might be some hallucinations in that particular match review. There seems to be in most other things he says. Might be the ketamine. Gary, that would be a nice problem to have. I'd love a 6-0 win. Yes, love a 6-0 win. I would as well. Look at Leicester away. Lost 3-1. Had 30 plus shots. Didn't enjoy it. No, we played well that night, didn't we? We played really well that night. One of the very rare occasions under Lopetegui where we did actually deserve to win, and we got stuffed.
I was at that game. I was gutted. I was absolutely devastated driving home from that. Yeah.
10-0 against Bury. Yeah, I was there. I remember that. It was good. We bought Paul Hilton, their centre half, and about a season or two later, he was playing up front for us as a striker, wasn't he? That was quite impressive. I don't recognise this Jedwood naming convention. So if next season's crap, I'm buying season tickets to the zoo.
If you have season tickets at the moment, you already do have season tickets to the zoo, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, you just said saying, hang on a minute, I'm going to get to it in a minute. Context is the opposition. We play well, whether it's okay to lose. I've got to get this bigger. I'm struggling. And entertain or boring.
It's always been a problem, has it, Gal?
Wins. It depends really, but you definitely can entertain and win. Yeah, of course you can. And we all want to see that. That is our listen, that is water in the desert. That is the oasis. That is what we all want, right? But bar none, we want to do that every week and play fantastically, right? But are we entitled to it? Not really. It shouldn't be an entry point.
That's the one. I remember that. Yeah.
I remember that.
Stan Lazaridis, John Moncur, Samasi Abu, John Artson, something like that.
What about this one? This one, I think that one, wasn't that the one that was scored by Stevie Potts?
Yes, his one and only goal. Yeah, it was.
P-roller.
I'll tell you, this was a cracker, though, this one. Can't forget this one. 5-4 against Bradford. Jesus Christ.
My cousin said to Stevie Potts, he said, we get so you should get some mugs made. I was there when Stevie Potts scored. 5-4, that was a mad game to be at. It was so I mean, when Di Canio wrenched the ball off of Lampard, you're thinking, please score for the penalty. That was the one, wasn't it?
Oh man, that was when Stephen Bywater came in, didn't he? Made his debut. I think he got looped by Jamie Lawrence.
Did we buy that
game?
Did we buy Barry's goalie? Did we? Yeah. I remember Paul Hilton. He was actually, he was. He wasn't a bad player. Yeah, I know, Randy. I was being a bit tongue in cheek. Yeah, I know. I think it's disrespectful to call them that. That's all. They're a pair of seasoned professionals. One has put in a hell of a bloody stint at West Ham. If this is to be the end of his career, and I think to dismiss them both like that, as if they're fucking non-entities, is disrespectful. So there you go. Just a personal feeling. Right. Yes. Okay, so remember Paul Hilton, right? That's it. I think we're done, aren't we? We're done.
Oh man, I'm knackered. I
Oh,
need
it's been a
bed.
lovely show. We didn't mean to go on for this long. Fucking hell, quarter to 10. Christ, Chris.
It's my
Teach us
fault.
to not do a show. We had lots of talking to do after all this time, didn't we? We had lots of talking to do. It's been a very lively chat tonight, so thank you for all your comments in the chat. It's been quite fun, actually. Really enjoyed it. 3-1 against Brighton last season. It was good. It was good. We broke the curse, but now we're back under the curse again, sadly. But yeah, it was a good win. It was good to finally beat those fuckers. 8-0 against Sunderland. Well, that was in like the 60s, wasn't it, Paul? So that's just your way of saying that you were there when West Ham were good, right? In the 60s, isn't it? I know.
Were you at that game, Gal?
Oh yeah, I was at that game. Yeah. No, that's what Paul's saying. No, he's just saying to me, yeah, I saw 66, 65 and 64. Don't you worry about it, Gary. That's what he's saying. Right. Yes, bugger off. Yes, indeed. We're going to do it 5:45 a.m. Sure. I think that should, not SM. Right, okay, we're done. Thank you, everybody, for your lovely comments. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know it's gone on a bit longer, but we ain't done a show for, one of these shows for bloody ages. And it was about time we did. I've quite enjoyed it tonight, though, Chris, catching up.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun, mate. Yeah, it's been a while. We've not been on YouTube for a good week and a half or something, right?
Not together.
I'll put the because it's just like pre-records, wasn't it? Like with the foyer interview and stuff like that. That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Catch that foyer interview. You'll like it. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Please, the Bobby Moore Stand on YouTube. Give the video a like, hit the bell notification icon, and all that good stuff. Leave us a comment if you like. We read them all. Until next time, let's find an outro, a suitable outro. I think I'll go with a regular one, Chris. What do you reckon?
What, Canning Town Lane?
Do you reckon we do Canning Town Lane? What we got?
Well, that's been kind of a regular feature recently.
Yeah, I do like Canning Town Lane. I do like it.
Yeah.
Always tempted to demonetize and go for the Chicago one, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for tourists because it's still topical until it isn't. All right? It is. So until next time, people. See you soon. Come on, you irons.
Hey Goldie, what's on today's to-do list?
Why, it's match day, Dave. Are you hoping for a full house tonight?
Not too fast. As long as we sell all the tickets, I don't care if you come down here.
We make more money from the tourists here, so I don't care if you come down here.
Nathan Bellevicky's got a boy for the night. His ex-missus says you better track it, he right. Buys a kid a ticket and a burger and a Sprite. Got a train home, 200 Nicolai.
Cause I don't care if you come down here, cause you make more money for the tourists here, so we don't give a monkeys if you come down here.
Stop from where the pocket took a bully in the water. Yeah, but lots of rumble, but it can't get sore. Climbs more stairs than he did before. What's his old seat, then he's got to pay more.
Cause I don't care if you come down here, cause you make more money for the tourists here, so we don't give a monkeys if you come down here.
The caviar only goes to football with his wife. He did it as a kid and he's done it all his life, but he don't get a winter fuel allowance anymore. So he's gonna sell his ticket to a bloke for Singapore.
I don't care if you come down here, cause you make more money for the tourists here, but we don't give a monkeys if you're here next year. I don't care if you come down here, cause you make more money for the tourists here, and I don't care if you come down here.